Australia, or Terra Australis Incognita, was the name of the continent supposed to counterweight the flat Earth. A human presence started on the continent about 40,000 years ago. Around 1606, a Dutch ship discovered a very hostile place, which will be called later Australia. The first goal of the newcomers was to map their discovery. In 1770, James Cook discovered Australia and established a first contact with the local inhabitants, the Aborigine. James Cook was not the first explorer of Australia. Nonetheless, the captain was the first to establish a permanent presence in East Australia. When Cook came back from Australia, he made an eulogy description of Australia to the Crown. It was immediately seen as a good solution to the overpopulation problem of the United Kingdom. It was seen as essential when United Kingdom lost its colony in North America. So the United Kingdom sent convicts to build the infrastructures of the new colony. The British colony began the 26th January 1788 with the construction of the penal camp of Port Jackson. From 1788 to 1868, the United Kingdom sent about 160,000 convicts to Australia to build infrastructures. The French although had the will to settle a colony in Australia, although the main explorer, La Pérouse, which was supposed to complete the observations of Captain Cook, died during his trip back to France and buried its discovery with him. Firstly, the government tried to make peace and goodness with the Aborigine. But alcohol, European sicknesses, and colonial expansion destroyed the local Aborigine population. In 1803, a first circumnavigation of the continent is done. Other inland expeditions followed, but a lot of explorers died exploring the hostile continent. Between 1850 and 1860, Australia was in a gold rush, which contributes a lot to the urbanization of the country. Around 1890, each colony had its autonomy, and all males, even Aborigine, were able to vote. Even though British law was applied, and each colony has a government able to amend the law, the United Kingdom kept the control over foreign affairs, defense, and international trade. Australia became a dominion of the United Kingdom. In 1880, Melbourne is the second greatest city of the British Empire, but Australia's economy is very rural and concentrated around Melbourne and Sydney. On the 1st January 1901, the 6 Australian colonies created a constitution and Australia became a federal state. Later, in order to house the new government, Canberra is built. As World War I started in 1914, Australia sent about 330,000 soldiers abroad and for the side of the Allies. After World War I and during the Great Depression, Australia's economy suffered a lot because their economy was mostly based on primary products such as wool or wheat. It will lead the country to high unemployment rates and misery. As World War II was declared, Australia sent one more set of the British forces. During this war, Australia was, for the first time, attacked by the Japanese Empire. Cities as Darwin, Sydney or Newcastle were bombed hundreds of times. Nonetheless, the Japanese did not achieve to invade Australia. World War II contributes to develop a manufacturing industry and to reduce unemployment. It also helps to create a melting pot and increase women's role in Australia's society. At the end of World War II, Australia limited diplomatic relations with the United Kingdom but increased their relation with the United States of America. As Australia seeks for workforce, the country created an immigration program. Workers from more than 30 countries will be welcome to stay for good in Australia. Australia hosted the Olympic Games in 1956, offering a good international view of Australia for the rest of the world. During the space run, Australia had a big role and was the fourth nation to launch satellite in space. Australia renewed its economic relation with Japan, which became one of the principal partners for trade. Finally, nowadays Australia is a highly developed country. It's the 13th economy of the world and definitely a regional power. It also has the third highest human development index. The country is well known for its quality of life. Australia is full of surprise from its fauna to flora, passing by its culture.